Hi everyone, it's Kieran here at Magical Traveller. Hope you're having a great day. And today we are once again joined by my friend over APT Travelmarvel, Becky, who has very kindly come on to tell us a little bit more about some of their amazing touring product. So first of all, Becky, if you'd just like to say hello to everyone and introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, I'm Becky from APT and it's lovely to be here today.
Brilliant, thank you, Becky. And I think it's very much obvious to say that APT, obviously, Australia and touring are in the name at the end of the day of APT, isn't it? So I think there's no harm in saying that that's kind of what you specialize in. But I think what's really exciting about getting you on today is to say that it's not just Australia that you guys are known for. You do have a wide range of touring product available as well. And obviously, I followed you with so much envy when you were on your Canada trip as well. So I think it'd be really good if you wouldn't mind just sharing a little bit of information with us about kind of what APT have to offer, kind of from touring both in Australia, but also in the rest of the world as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, we have over 95 years experience as a business. And you're right, we started out in Melbourne, Australia, all those years ago in the 1920s. And escorted touring is really what we are known for. It's what we've done for many, many, many years. The river cruise side of the business really wasn't sort of introduced until sort of the early 2000s. So, the escorted touring side of our business is super important to us. And we have got the most incredible destinations that we feature. So we started out, obviously, Australia. So we do a number of itineraries in Australia, including lovely Tasmania. But we also do the Kimberley region in Australia as well. And this is something that's really special to us. The Kimberley region is ranked up there with the polar regions as being one of the last true wildernesses on Earth. So even if you've been to Australia before, you've not seen anything until you've been to the Kimberley because it is pristine and untouched by man. It's situated sort of in up in the sort of Western Australia by Darwin and Broome, excuse me. And it is a fantastic luxury glamping on steroids kind of experience.
Really?
So when it comes to Australia, we have a wealth of itineraries, plus we have the Kimberley region, and then of course our wonderful Tasmania tours. But then of course we also have New Zealand. We feature tours ranging from 8 nights all the way up to sort of 19, 20 nights, featuring one island or both the North and the South Island. It just depends on what you want. And then, of course, moving over to the USA, we have a tour in the Canyonlands in America. And then, of course, our wonderful Canada and Alaska program as well, which has been super popular this year with the number of bookings coming through, absolutely blowing us away. But, of course, we also do other destinations. So we have also got Japan, South Korea. We also do a little bit of touring in India. And there's other exciting products coming down the line soon as well, which I can't mention in person today. But of course, Kieran, you will be the first to know as soon as I can let you know what the insider information is.
Always a reason to get you to come back on and share with us as well. So I'm sure we'll hear about it as well when we know more. Absolutely. But I think that's fantastic. When you look at these regions as well, they are so vast as well, type of thing. Like I was quite taken aback when I went to Canada of just how much the landscape changes just by moving I say a few miles, but like you drive a couple of hours and you're in another beautiful, gorgeous part of the world as well. And these are definitely regions of the world whereby it definitely benefits from having a handheld type of thing of being able to take you around and show you kind of off the beaten path tracks, but also to give you the inside track as well on kind of what the best places to go to. So if you are going far from, to these destinations, for us, at least anyway in the UK, these are long haul destinations. They're maybe bucket list destinations for people. Why would you risk going and missing out on some of the best parts of these destinations? And I think that's the great thing about touring. It gives you the chance to kind of make sure that you're having your handheld in a nice way, but also you're making sure you're seeing all of the highlights type of thing and maximizing your time, I guess, in those destinations.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the tour directors are phenomenal at what they do. They have got so many years of experience, and they know, the best coffee shops to go to. They know the best time of year to see wildlife in a certain area. They are constantly answering questions and being, that link between you and the destination so that you get the most out of it. To give you an example, our tour director on the fam trip that I did in Canada, she was obviously, number one, super organized, the most organized person I'd ever met in my life, but also always thinking ahead. So even down to making stops. So we don't ever drive longer than 2 hours. So we would drive for 2 hours to get to our next stop, but it would always be a point of interest wherever we would stop with local facilities for us to be able to use. And even down to the detail of phoning ahead to let the coffee shops know that we were going to be arriving at a certain time so that they were fully stocked, that they had staff that were available and not on their lunch breaks, so that when we got there, the group of 40 of us, that, the maximum size of people that we have on one of our tours for APT Luxury, we're not thinking, oh God, I'm never going to get served, I can't get a sandwich, all that kind of stuff.
40 minutes later and you're like the last person and you've got to rush to kind of get back on the...
Yeah, but it was just all that attention to detail, thinking ahead all of the time. And another sort of example, even going to the wonderful Moraine Lake, which is the most stunning, beautiful lake I've ever seen in my life. It's situated within the Lake Louise area. Now, because of the popularity of this lake, the local community have put a stop on people just driving in and out. So you can only get either the shuttle bus from Lake Louise or be on an escorted tour, because obviously when you're on an escorted tour, we were able to just drive in through the gates, park up nice and easily, and then walk straight to the lake to be able to get those stunning views. So again, there's a lot of benefits from being on an escorted tour, just down to the nature of, the local communities, what's happening with over tourism, people being sort of, completely, interested in particular areas and all going at the same time. And they're worried about the natural habitat, etc. So they put restrictions in place. Well, when you're on a tour, you don't have to worry about anything like that. So there's a number of perfect positives.
It's such a big thing as well, particularly, and I only know this from my time in Canada, exploring kind of the Banff National Park region, but kind of making sure that it's still there for the future generations is such a big part of that region type of thing. So there are so many, because it is a national park. I think a lot of people, I didn't realize it until I went. Banff itself is in a national park type of thing. So it's all obviously protected for wildlife preservation, cultural and heritage preservation as well. So there's a lot of work done to protect that environment and that culture to make sure that it kind of stays pristine. And I think this is whereby, as you say, kind of having that inside track to be able to make sure you are seeing all of this and this is all pointed out to you and you benefit from that knowledge type of thing. It definitely pays off. I remember, and we did an independent tour, so it's not with you guys, but it's just a little snippet of the type of kind of knowledge you glean from these kind of tour hosts. And it was really random, but we were getting the coach off the Rocky Mountaineer train and the host was explaining to us the rivalry between two former mayors, basically, in an election campaign and how they built a statue and how come everyone hates the statue, but it was the person who won type of thing. And it's a constant remember about this awful statue and the mayor that won. But he was really quippy with it. It was really funny. But it's just funny that out of everything I did on that trip, going through the Canadian Rockies, I still also remember that story about these two rival mayors because of how our host, our kind of guide on the coach, kind of just told us all these little snapshots about the history of the regions we were going through as well. So that's all the extra bits of information you glean when you go on kind of a tour, when you're kind of there with a host who can kind of tell you all those little bits, snippets of history. You come away with more memories of things than you would if you were maybe just taking the local bus and getting there, which is, you sit down, you get where you go in, but you're not getting that extra kind of insight into the region that you would get on a tour or on an organized group.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's even down to, obviously you're going to see all the must-sees, must-dos, but like you say, you're going to find out more about the culture and the heritage and the history of those locations. I mean, being able to, one of the things that we do is we take our guests to the First Nations Museum and nice. Cultural Centre in Whistler, and you'll actually be able to enjoy either a breakfast or a lunch, depending on the time of day that you go, but then you'll also have a tour by one of the First Nations people, and they'll be able to show you, the carvings, the rafts that were created, the clothing that they used to wear. And it's all about, really kind of, telling people about the history of that and the struggles that they went through and how they're trying to keep those traditions alive. And it's just the most incredible thing to be able to go and see and do. Absolutely. And it really does give you a whole appreciation. It's not just, yes, I've been and I've seen, Lake Louise and I've seen Banff Avenue and I've done some great shopping. You've also been and seen some of that historical side of it all as well, which is so important. And again, it just creates more memories for you to take home with you as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit more? There's two things, I think. Obviously, we've talked about it in other episodes that you've been on with us, but it's just to talk briefly a little bit about the differences between maybe a Travelmarvel tour and an APT tour, just to explain that obviously there are two different levels that people get, and then just to kind of maybe guide people through what a typical day could be like type of things. I think some people have a perception, and I've told you this as well, of, when people go on a tour, that you're pretty much kind of with the same people all day, every day, and you're not allowed to do anything on your own type of thing. So just a little bit about that, I guess, of what a typical day on either a Travelmarvel or an APT tour could look like.
Yeah, absolutely. So with APT Luxury, when you're traveling on one of those itineraries, you are going to, first of all, be in a group of 40 or below. So the maximum number is 40. So we don't do at the moment any sort of small group touring. So it's 40 up and below. But the coach is a best-in-class vehicle. So it will have seats of up to between 52 and 56 seats. So there's still lots of room for people to move around on the coach. You have got facilities on board, reclining seats, USB charger points, etc., recliners. It's very, very comfortable. But of course, it's APT luxury. So it is going to look incredible. Now, behind me, you'll see one of the pictures of our best-in-class vehicles, which is all completely wrapped by the most amazing imagery. And you will feel like a celebrity because people do like to take pictures of our coaches. But that's the beauty of being on an APT luxury tour. It's those little bits of, the attention to detail in terms of, the way that you're traveling around as well. But on top of that, you're also going to get so much included. So you're going to be staying at 5-star properties, which incorporates, for example, in Canada, a number of Fairmont properties. And again, because you're with APT Luxury, you'll get automatically upgraded rooms included in the cost. So you will have a Lake Louise view room. You will have a mountain view room from the Banff Springs Resort. You'll have beautiful lodge within the Jasper National Park in the Fairmont Jasper National Park. So Amazing. You're going to have some incredible places to stay. But on top of that as well, when you travel on the Rocky Mountaineer, which is often included in an APT luxury tour, normally from Vancouver to Banff or Lake Louise, you're going to be automatically traveling in Gold Leaf service. So you don't have to upgrade because it's automatically, you're traveling with luxury, APT luxury, so you're automatically given Gold Leaf service. Plus, on top of that, you get your freedom of choice sightseeing and your freedom of choice dining. So again, you can pick and choose what you want to do in select locations and where you eat as well within the Fairmont sort of properties. And there's often 3 or 4 restaurants to choose from. And what that means is, again, people are breaking up into those smaller groups and they're doing things that are more of an interest to them. They're eating in places that are more sort of desirable to them. So even though you're a part of a group, you are actually very able to meet a lot of the people in different areas because you might have similar interests to them. But you're not spending sort of every day, all day with the same people at all times. And it's a concept that works extremely well.
I think it's nice that you kind of have that core group that you can kind of meet people and make friends with people and share that amazing, incredible journey together. But equally as well, it allows you the freedom to tweak and tailor make it to the type of things you want to do as well. As you say, like the dining you want to do and the tours you want to do. It's all still very much personalized to you, but you are part of this group together and you're having that kind of nice companions to travel with. And I think when you're doing these kind of bucket list, amazing destinations, there's nothing more exciting than experiencing it yourself, but sharing it with other people as well. And kind of, they spotted this. And did you spot this over there? And I think there's nice shared excitement when you're kind of experiencing things together for the first time with people.
Oh my God, you feel like a family by the end. It's incredible, because you have had the most amazing experiences with these people that you didn't know before. And then obviously within a few days of being on tour with them, you've forged friendships that will last forever. I mean, to give you an example of the freedom of choice sightseeing within Banff, there's a few options that you can choose from. And one of them sort of a local spa treatment, a safari down Bow River. You could do a guided tour around Banff, or you could do the 25 minutes helicopter Banff heli sightseeing trip. So there's about 5 or 6 different things that you can choose from. So again, you're going to get people breaking up onto different, depending on what they want to do on that day. And again, the tour director sorts it all out for everybody. So all they do is decide the day before they get there, this is what I want to do tomorrow. This is my first choice. This is my second choice. And then she just books it all in for them. So, the APT luxury style of travel is a fantastic, luxurious way to travel. So much included with obviously that touch of luxury throughout the whole itinerary.
No, it sounds amazing. And I think it's like you say as well, it's nice to know that you are seeing all these headlines that you want to see kind of at these regions you're exploring. But it's also in a very relaxed luxury way as well, isn't it? So it's very much kind of, at your own pace, your own style type of thing. You've got that lovely handheld to kind of just guide you through this amazing journey as well. So you're concentrating on the fun bits of the journey and not stressing about the logistics of it all. I remember when we did it, we had to work out how to get the bus to different places, and we spent more time thinking about getting somewhere than just getting to the place and enjoying the place type of thing, and it takes all that stress out of it for you. You get to have an amazing time, and you're still going to do the same thing. You still have to get a bus to get around to these different places because the Banff region is so big.
Yeah.
But, like I say, you're not waiting at the bus stop in the cold type of thing. It's all coming and collecting you from kind of your hotel and from your base type of thing. It's all just a lovely way to do it rather than having to fumble around and make sure you buy the right ticket and you go in the right place and, oh no, I took the bus to the wrong place. It's a lovely way to do it and just take the stress out of the kind of seeing these places and wasting time on things that you shouldn't really be wasting your time on when you go on these once in a lifetime destinations.
Totally. And even that down to the, again, talking about sort of attention to detail, seeing, the coach driver on our Canada trip, outside at 5:30 in the morning, washing all of the windows of the coach every single morning before we would leave, so that we would have the best views out of the windows to see the wildlife. And we did. We saw bears by the side of the road. We saw elk. We saw, incredible, eagles. We saw so much. And it was just, sat there on this coach, you just think, oh God, I'm on a coach, but it's not. It's so comfortable. The views are spectacular. It is equally part of the
journey, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. You're very comfortable. You're making new friends. You're seeing all this amazing scenery. You're seeing the wildlife. Some of the pictures that I took out of the window, as in, through the tinted glass, they still came out beautifully on my camera, and I'm just blown away by the whole experience. But I have to say, luxury is obviously, hits up there with some of the best, hotel stays and the best itineraries that you can possibly ask for. But again, we have the Travelmarvel version, we have the premium 4-star version. So if you don't want to be so handheld, if you don't want so much included, if you're quite happy with a 4-star hotel in the centre of the town rather than having the upgraded rooms, and your budget obviously is a little bit more of a conscious budget, then look at the wonderful world of Travelmarvel, because you're still going to get a luxury vehicle, you're still going to get that tour director, and you're still going to get a number of inclusions, and you'll definitely get the most amazing experience and see all those must-sees, must-dos.
Definitely. No, it's a wonderful way to travel. And I think it's like and I've said it so many times, but seeing these regions as well, so kind of Australia, if you're going to go to Tokyo, places like that, Japan, it's just such a fantastic way to see it and make sure you're maximizing your time, because these aren't easy places to get to. They're usually long flights type of things. So why make it harder for yourself to explore these regions and make the most out of them? Why not just have somebody there, whichever style you want, whether you want the full-on luxury service or whether you want that kind of premium service, whereby you've still got a tour guide who's going to kind of give you that. And you still include, even in Travelmarvel as well, you do include kind of tours as well, don't you? So you still get your trips included.
Yeah.
Just obviously there's less choice in them, there's less options type of thing, or you can pay to upgrade your choices, but you still have. And like I remember from our river cruise experience with Travelmarvel, we had that amazing kind of coach tour to get us to the center of Vienna. But then equally, we had a walking tour through Vienna, so we knew all the kind of main sites to see. And then we had a few hours then free time as well to go off and explore ourselves as well. So you're still getting that inside track and that inside knowledge, but equally then you can go off and explore by yourself as well. So it's not like you're just dumped in a town and gone enjoy type of thing. You still get that inside track as well, even with the Travelmarvel product. So you're going to make the most out of the destination. It's just down to the level of service you want, again, whether you want to go even further beyond and have everything end to end kind of not managed for you, that's the wrong word, but kind of looked after, I guess the best way to say it.
Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting, I know we've touched a lot on Canada, but Canada, obviously we both love it and it is amazing.
We've both been though, I think.
We have, absolutely. But I have to say, New Zealand, oh my goodness, New Zealand is booming in popularity at the moment. People are, I think, Australia, that's our homeland, it's our mothership, we adore it, we have a lot of tours there, but I think a lot of people also have family or friends that live there, so they might not always necessarily want to book sort of an 18-19 day tour. They might just want to book a 7 or an 8 day tour, which again we have got in Australia and we can assist with that. However, with New Zealand, people are very much thinking, okay, I want to go, I've not done New Zealand, and they want to do it and see everything. So, of course, we have got the New Zealand Wonderland itinerary. We start in the north. So we start in Auckland, go up to the Bay of Islands, and then you come back down to the Waitomo glowworm caves. You've got Rotorua with its thermal springs. You make your way down towards the Inter-Islander ferry across the Cook Strait. And then, of course, you've got glacier country, and you've got obviously Franz Josef, and you've got the Milford Sound, and you've got Queenstown, the capital city, the adventure capital of New Zealand, and just so much to see and do. So, again, Canada's amazing, New Zealand's amazing, and if you really want to get the most out of it, escorted touring is definitely the best way to do it.
Brilliant. Thank you for that, Becky. I think it's really great to kind of get a top level overview of kind of what APT and Travelmarvel offer when it comes to touring. I think, you can't think of anyone better, especially for kind of Australia. Obviously, that's your bread and butter, but there's a whole world of touring that you guys offer as well. So if you guys watching this are ever interested and you want to look on your score to tour with Travelmarvel or APT, then definitely you can find it on my website under magical-traveler.com. Check on the top, there should be a touring tab. And then you can choose there whether you want to look at kind of APT touring or Travelmarvel touring. There's lots of information there. But then equally as well, as you can see, me and Becky, we work together really closely as well. So if you are trying to find a tour and you're not sure what you want to do, then definitely I can work with Becky to kind of help you find the right tour as well to make sure you're going to have that amazing bucket list journey as well with APT and Travelmarvel. Other than that, guys, I hope you've enjoyed that. Again, Becky, thank you so much for coming on. It's always a pleasure having you on the YouTube channel and kind of sharing all the amazing things you have at APT and Travelmarvel. So thank you for coming on and doing this series of videos with us kind of over the beginning of the year. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me. And thanks very much to everybody for watching and listening to everything about APT and Travelmarvel.
Brilliant. Thank you for that, guys. All the best. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.
Bye. I